there.
Yeah.
So let me turn to Oscar then. Building on that, you mentioned earlier, growing our way to success, productivity, positive impact on society. Given the extreme involvement with US Ignite now and being able to leverage some of the resources in the state here, how do you think that's going to evolve over the next few years?
Great question, Dave. Thanks. I think one of the things that we continue to see is innovation. Innovation at the application layer, I think, is going to be key. And Glenn, you did a great job of outlining some of the very specific consumer-oriented applications that will come to bear. Safety, ability to then have services such as medical services come to your home. Just imagine the doctor can actually pay a house call again where that had gone away. So I think my grandfather told me about house calls, and now I'm going to be able, my children will be able to know about house calls, but I may not have seen that. And the truth of the matter is that localized service, that personalized service can then come back again in the way that it used to be, and because it is a better service. But the important thing about this is it's the applications that really enable this, the application that enable a doctor to then actually be able to piece together a video system that then connects to a network that then transparently to that doctor be able to access that patient and get what they need when they need it. And the patient can then, hopefully we'll also couple that with delivery prescription services and all the things that go with that enable new jobs while at the same time raising the productivity of all the people involved. So I think that at the end of the day, it's these new types of services, the different types of capabilities that are enabled by the network that will then drive the new jobs and enable us to really grow the economy.
Excellent. Okay. And so, Glenn, your question, once again, changing channels a little bit now from the, I'll call it the private corporate side. You coming from US Ignite, what would you consider to be the ideal, collaboration between US Ignite and the networking vendors that you're involved with, and even, some of the application providers you're looking at?
You bet. So first of all, I wanted you to notice that I'm not Sue Spradley. Sue Spradley is listed on the program. She's our executive director, and she would have loved to have been here today. She really would have loved to have been here today. She was really looking forward to this event. She was taken with an illness she's recovering from very nicely, but just was not able to travel here today. So I'm pleased to sub for her. And I wanted to say, Oscar, officially from Sue Spradley, congratulations and thank you for being a US Ignite member.
Thank you.
US Ignite believes that it takes a village to go and create these new applications and make it happen. And North Carolina is the best village that I have ever run into personally. We've got the ideas, we've got the students, we've got the academics, you've got the folks here who have the vision at the state to go and create a statewide network to take advantage of that. And it's been here for a long time. If I can tell a bit of the story, hopefully I'm not stealing from you, Henry, is that a long time ago, Henry and I actually brought the internet to North Carolina, and I hope he'll tell you a little bit more about that. But when we did it, the question was, who from North Carolina, which academic institution should we connect first? Because it started off at the universities. And there were these three fine universities in this area. I think that you know what they are, right? There's NC State and Duke and UNC Chapel Hill.
We have others, too.
And those were the ones which were in primary contention, though. And we didn't know which one to go approach and connect to. And it turns out that at that time, Leland Williams was running the Triangle University's Computing Center. It was one of the first institutions in Research Triangle Park. You're old enough to remember. He's nodding his head. And that made it easy for us. We said, North Carolina has its act together. North Carolina can go and give us at least 3 and maybe more institutions by connecting to one pooled facility. And by the way, that facility was bigger and better than any one of the institutions could have done by themselves. So it was a true innovation for its time. And we managed to get Henry involved in the leadership and co-principal investigator for creating that initial internet in North Carolina. So when people ask, how and where did the internet come to North Carolina? It came to Research Triangle Park for the reasons that you've heard lots of other people say happen here. And it's for the same reasons that US Ignite thinks that it's pretty magic to involve the academics, far-sighted folks who pool resources together, a state that has a focus on bringing jobs that are highly educated and well paid to the area, that really makes other folks want to come and join them in that area. And those are the same qualities that we think at US Ignite make for great applications. So we are looking for remember I said 60 applications? I'd love to see more than the fair share of the national total come from North Carolina, because you folks have the right ingredients to make that happen.
Okay, excellent. So really in the interest of time, what I want to do is for each of you, what would you consider the key takeaway? What's the most important thing you want to leave people with regards to what's happening in the state here, maybe what's happening up in Washington if you want to talk about it, and what we need to look forward to over the next 6 to 12 months?
I'd love to see more people here take an interest in US Ignite and perhaps participate in some of the programs. There's $500,000 currently available if you go to mozillaignite.org, and there's a new round starting in a week.
Thank you, Glenn. I think the main key takeaway I'd like to leave you with is that the state does have fundamentally great technology and great technologists. And the expansion and the reorganization of a new infrastructure of networking is coming. And a lot of that technology know-how and innovation is going to happen right here. And we're happy to be a part of it as a part of Extreme Networks.
My key takeaway is that, today we've patted ourselves on the back a bit about this, but we really need over the next 6 to 12 months to utilize the fundamental foundational assets we have to re-energize our entrepreneurial community and our entrepreneurial thinking in this area. The park has become old and staid. Places like American Tobacco are burgeoning ideas. We've now got capacity in rural areas, burgeoning ideas. We need to figure out ways as a state to make it easier to take ideas from Jeff's mind and from other great innovators' mind and commercialize those and build the next set of great companies in North Carolina. I think we've gotten lazy, but we've got foundational assets in place that can accelerate that. And I would hope that we can put together an agenda with a new General Assembly and a new governor that can accelerate that innovation and utilize the assets that we have.
Well, thanks. To pick up on that, policy is important. The initial question was about policy and the policy environment here. The state can't do everything. State shouldn't do everything. Government isn't going to do everything. It does often, though, set the tone and sort of initiate what the environment is like. And as Joe just noted, not only do we have a new governor of a new party, a transition in party, but the existing legislature, while it did not change control, has a ton of new faces. So educating those who are in leadership roles about all of this history we've been talking about, many in this room, a lot of that stuff wasn't necessarily news to you. It is news to a lot of our leadership now. And I think we all have a responsibility to help those who are in policymaking positions have a better sense of all the work that's gone on, all the partners that have been involved with it, and the culture that we have had. So looking forward over the next 6 to 12 months, if you're talking about a near-term goal, I think that'd be a key thing that many of us will play a role in, and NCTA plays a role in that as a convener, and we hope to be effective in that in the next year.
Okay, excellent. So Joe, back over to you on the agenda.
Okay, great. Don't screw this up, it's a break.
So we're in break for what, 5 minutes? For 10 minutes. For 10 minutes we have a break, and then we're going to come back and do a second panel.